afternoon. Thank you indeed for joining us yet again this beautiful Thursday. We come to you every Thursday here on Fat Talks, courtesy of the Fidelis Leadership Institute, and we are faithful, available, and teachable. That is who we are. My name is Lynn Komjisha. If you have just joined us, please, you are welcome, and we're glad you're part of us today. Today we're looking at a very interesting conversation. We're going to have one of those ladies I find very warm, but also very impressionable. Like, she's that woman you want to talk to all the time. Honestly, I met her for the first time, and we kicked it off. It was just natural for both of us, and I'm so glad that sometimes when I have issues, I just run to her and you find an easy solution. And I'm talking about Janet Kantalama. Janet Kantalama, most of you, if you're on Twitter Spaces, you can look her up at Janet Kantalama, and that is her Twitter handle. She's a self-motivated, proactive, and highly driven individual with good people skills and analytical skills. You're
reading a whole CV.
She's knowledgeable about people's development, mental health, and general well-being. And let me tell you, she's qualified for these things. Yes. Gratified by service to humanity, especially the vulnerable and the girl child. How very important. Talking about the girl child, it is still the Women's Week, Women's Month, and welcome from Women's Day celebrations. It goes on and on, but importantly, she's the executive director, Safe Places Uganda, and is a private mental, neurological, and addiction treatment service provider for individual, family, workplace, schools, and community solutions. So if you're looking for a place to relax, a place to unwind, look out for Janet. She has a Master of Science in Psychology. She's a PhD student still in psychology. I could go on and on and on. And for me, by the way, she has that smile that will get you talking to her, whether you like it or not. I'm so very glad to have you, Janet Kantalama. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lynn, and our listeners and people watching us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. People watching us live on Smart 24 TV, but we're also live on our Twitter Spaces. It is very exciting and very humbling. Janet, I'm very, very glad to have you. Now, people on our Twitter Spaces, today we are looking at being limitless. You can do anything. Now, for me, when we came about this topic, actually I went straight to the Bible.
Yes.
You can do anything. And this is in, let me get it, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes.
It's that simple. But then how to internalize it, how to digress it, how to be part of it is what we are going to do with Janet. Janet, first of all, I've always been curious.
Yes.
There's something about your smile. Is it something you have taught yourself, or is it something you have over the years learned to do? Because it has an effect on people. And I'm told a smile is your best attire for people. We're told this, especially for the women. And for you, does it come naturally, or you just have to say, okay, I'm in a certain space, I have to smile?
Of course, it comes naturally, Lynn, you know. And but you know, you can't only be natural. I mean, nature also a bit of nurturing. You know that it makes people feel warm and comfortable,
right,
or when you have a friendly and smiley face. However, it also, the formation of the smile is natural.
The trick. So we have a culture here,
yes,
on Fat Talks.
Yes, yes.
And we always want to know the truth about you and the lies about you. It's like a poll of sorts. So you tell us at the end of the conversation, we shall figure out. Eventually you will tell us the truth. But, so what is that truth about you that, you know, most people will look at and be like, yeah, that's what Janet is. But also you can tell us that lie that we believe.
Can I say two truths?
It's okay.
No.
One truth or lies, it's up to you.
So does it have to be one?
No.
Any? Okay.
Tell us a number.
So I'm going to give you a variety, then you choose. Then you choose from. I'm a firstborn. And I am a Nalongo. I am a Muhima by tribe. And
firstborn, Nalongo, and Muhima by tribe.
And the last one is I can actually dig.
You can actually dig?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And Muhima and digging. We shall figure that out at the end of the conversation.
Think about it.
Yes. Wow. That combination is interesting. So we shall figure that out as the conversation goes on.
Yes.
Now, Janet, a little bit about why psychology? First of all, and growing up as a young girl, did it cross your mind? Did you really want to be a psychologist?
I think earlier on, I didn't know what psychology was. Like growing up, unguided. I keep saying that some of our parents were not very informed. They were not in that typical professions of doctors, teachers, and then they didn't have that extension to guide their children. Of course, they wanted the children to go with the big professions, right. The ones which were prestigious by then. But I didn't know psychology. It wasn't part of it. It's until later on at high school when we got into career guidance, and I was looking around for people professions.
No. Slow down. You're in high school and you're looking for people professions. How do you even know that there are people professions? In high school, you're literally just excited about anything. And you're saying, I think I can be this, I can be that. At what point did you decide?
That I wanted people. I think I've always, having grown up in a big family, and I can say that I was kind of an outlier. It kind of made me want to understand.
Wow.
About myself and about the people that were around me, especially my family members. I grew up in a very extended family with many. First would be, not this typical 4 to 6. It will be a big number. And so when you grow up in that environment, there are things that come about that you experience as an individual, and you question. You want to understand why is it that things are the way they are.
Sure.
Okay. So, and then I realized that, I can be, because I kind of got to know my mama bear tendencies. When we went to school, I had a group of friends, small group of friends, but I was, like
the mama
yes,
bear.
Yes.
Like they usually run to you for this and that.
Then come to university, same thing. So it kept on growing. So from high school, then, university I was in the right profession. I was in the right course, and then I was also in the right groups. Because where I was, my friends, I was the guidance, and I would give guidance, at least on social.
Wow.
Social, like in a situation.
Yes.
So it just concretized my need to understand people. My need to understand people, my need to understand situations around us.
Wow.
Yes.
And in high school, allow me to take you back a little bit to high school. In high school is when you realize that you have a certain influence on people around you, but we never really pay attention. We think we're just being girls, or you're being boys, and just being yourself in high school. But that is when your personal, I want to say, your forming.
Yes, your personality is coming into play, and you're coming into knowing who you are. So we grow through stages, development stages, and so there are stages where there is more cognition, where you think more than the other, which were motor, and So in high school, it's time for growth, and it's time for behavior to
shape out.
Yes.
Wow. And here you are, a psychologist. So at university, how was it for you? I know this girl with a very beautiful smile in high school, rather at university, doing psychology. She could probably be doing mass communication, which I did.
Oh, I loved psychology. I kept saying that I loved psychology. I got into the psychology lectures, and imagine learning things that you identify with. like the topics that we were learning, I would internalize, and no, it wasn't like I was cramming or anything. I would identify with them. If we are talking about consumer psychology.
Wait, what is consumer psychology?
Psychology of the person, why do you buy the things that you buy?
Oh, when I go to the shop?
Yes.
Okay.
So why? Okay. So why do you think people market? Why do they market? They market with a view that they have to position this good for the other person. So there is psychology behind the thinking. They're considering the thinking of the person behind and the thinking of the person who is going to buy. Okay. So if you're looking at it, then you have to know that you have to put it in place and say, consumer psychology. Okay. If I'm selling this to Lynn, what is Lynn going to look out for? Who is Lynn who is going to buy this product? So for example, I will not sell toys to an adult population. I will target the adult who is a mother to buy those toys.
Right.
So
Smart 24, driving business.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Fun battery phone.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Capote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Capote deal and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Capote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
From a respectable family. He must have a maid because at our home we do not work.
Conductor Masao.
Why? Obadde olobye ku ssimu?
Yamunange, anti yo TV enkolera.
Enjoy a new world of entertainment with over 80 TV and radio channels, plus movies from wherever you are. Download the Yo TV Channels app from your app store and enjoy 30 days of free streaming with MTN.
Yo TV Channels.
Luxury redefined at Seasand Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasand Hotel. So visit today at plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasand Hotels, luxury redefined.
Smart 24, driving business.
Because some people are lucky
Okay, you can
That
call
has
it your
been around.
luck. Yes. You can call it your. Of course, there is that overwhelming grace of God that but it also comes. The grace manifests in the way you think. It will not be that God has given you all the grace to succeed, but because you have your mindset is limited, you won't.
Yes.
If you're thinking that there are boundaries, there are all these things that are hindering me from succeeding, even when the chances have been given to you. I mean, even when there is a lucky pass for you, but then you do not believe in that.
Wow.
Then you won't.
Wow. That's true. So at that turning point.
Yes.
And then so do you get employed in your field? How do you go about it? Because university is hard. I mean, after university, we're all scrapping for jobs here and there.
So I got into human resource. That is the organizational psychology.
Yes.
And I was there. I was doing recruitment, and because that's recruitment, you do assessments, psychometric testing, you do interviews. So I did that for a short while before I went for my second degree. So when I went for my second degree, I even got a more appreciation of psychology, because first degree was more organizational and the basics, Then that's when I learned about health psychology, when I did learning disabilities, that's still health psychology. I did more on neuropsychology, that is the understanding of the brain, and that. So when I came back, still, of course, when you are a girl, when you've just finished school, you want employment.
Yes.
You want some money in your pocket. You cannot be there. So I applied for a position, and I got hired as a training officer. That's capacity building.
Yes.
So I did that for a while, and then I realized that I was only using one part.
Oh.
I was only using one part of how big. I've just told you psychology is so big.
It's huge. Yes.
It's huge. So I was only using that training, capacity building, organizational development, only one small part of it. And yet there is so much that you can do. Okay? I think going still back to our boundless minds or limitless minds, I also believe that there was so much more that can be done. Okay? And so the prevailing circumstances were then, when you have an 8 to 5, you're limited in time. So I sought to break the boundaries of limitation by time.
My goodness. So she keeps poking at our topic, and I like that, because most of you might stray off a little bit, and I like that she keeps taking us there, and then we're back to her.
Because we're learning how to be limitless, So in that position where I felt like there was so much. I thought and I knew there was so much to do. However, I could not do it in the circumstances that were prevailing. Circumstances that are normal, like for example time, it's a time constraint. But then what do? So there are choices that you have to make. So I made the choice to leave that employment opportunity and go out.
Go out and what? Fish?
Go out and yes, now you see, go out and expand on the available opportunity.
So you were already feeling that there was something missing that you needed to do.
Yes.
And so you go out and discover that. No, in fact, you knew what.
I knew before.
So you get into it. Did you just go out and get into it?
No, I knew there was something. I knew that within my abilities, because that's why when you asked me to speak on this topic, I said I knew within my abilities there was much more that I could do, and then I started subconsciously feeling uncomfortable in being in that limitation. Okay, I actually even one time went to one of my former bosses. It's called Godfrey. I told him, I don't think I'm going to be doing this all my life. I have much more. To him, and he was a boss by then, like 3 levels above me. I said, I don't think I can be doing this much more. There is much more that we can do.
Do we all have that voice inside us?
Yes, we do. You just have to look deep in, because it is there.
Because they say there is no human that is limited.
Yes.
So it means we are all capable of doing anything and however, and we just need to
nurture that voice, then do that which you need to do to come. It comes with, it's just a voice, but it has to come with action,
confidence problems.
Yes, it has to come with actions.
Yes.
You cannot just say, I can do a lot more, but then you don't do anything. That's the difference. It has to do. You have to do.
Wow. So you tell your boss. What was his reaction?
And he was like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, yeah, I know you can do a lot, but are you sure? This is a good job. Really, really good job." I was like, "Yes, let me go and see. There is so much more to do." So I left right about then. My family was starting up a project.
Talking about your family,
yes.
Before we get into the project and everything else,
yes.
What was the reaction of your family when you took on psychology? Because most people are like, you're going to treat mental,
disorders, yes.
People, is that what you want to do? So how supportive was your family?
I think my family is in its own way unique. That us, when we were growing up, I think to our parents, my fathers that raised me, it was about completion, the discipline of completion of school.
Right.
It was not more, of course they would have loved a doctor. Everyone said, we missed you as a doctor, isn't it? We missed you as a doctor. But I said, no, this one is also okay, And I kept saying, whatever you do, as long as you do it exceedingly well, and then it will be beneficial to you. So my family was, of course, some of them felt like I was underselling myself, because they didn't know psychology and they didn't know what this psychology was about, and and where are you going to get jobs in this psychology, yet we're in the economy of you have to look for jobs and things like that. But to my fathers, I think the highlight was, as long as you could stay the course, you could stay the course and have the discipline to finish university. Okay, and I think to me, there was an advantage. I finished top notch in the psychology. Maybe class. Yes. Top.
She topped her class. So you topped your class at reading. So this is why I need to make her my friend.
So I can understand the reading of you and other people. Yes. So I think that came with the celebration of you finished. Yes, university, that's a good thing. You finished very well. That is also another good thing. Yes, having the reserved thoughts about why psychology, it wasn't much, at least from the people that mattered to me. It wasn't. Of course, there was
questions here and there.
Even when one brother of mine told me, you should have been a doctor. Never to Sala. So, but me, I said, it's okay. I know.
Right.
I actually got the appreciation that this course will be appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So people who are on Twitter Spaces and listening, and those of you who are watching on Smart 24 TV, we are glad you're joining us today afternoon, because we're looking at us being, you and I, human beings being limitless. Because oftentimes we're told, yes, you can do just about anything, but you need to be reminded. You need to remember, you need to look deep inside you. And this is why we have Janet here to remind us of who we really are and how we need to exercise that. Now, I need to remind you that the lady we are, sitting with today has been nominated for this year's New Vision 40 Under 40. So she's just not your usual kind of lady. She is doing things, and like she said, she knew something was missing, so she steps out. Now, Janet, let's come back to that conversation. So you step out and this is what I want to do. And you said your family at that time was starting the project. So what happens?
So what I wanted to do didn't just come when I stepped out.
Yes.
I knew what I wanted to do earlier on. I had been talking about it. I had been confessing it to my young sister. I had been, there is a friend of mine, actually my brother, my brother, we studied together at Masters. I kept telling him, I would even drag him to go check out places that are like safe places where we were studying. So I sold him that dream as well. So it's not that I didn't know what I wanted to do. It's just that by then, when you don't have means, you also have to have means for you to finance the dreams that we hold.
Yes.
Or find a way around it,
True.
Because or find a way around it. You cannot just have this grand idea and then you do not know where to start from. So by the time I left, I already knew that at the back of my mind, I had even started back work. I had done some benchmarking. I had gone to neighboring countries, done benchmarking. And so when that time came for me to get out, I had a soft landing of getting out. But the ultimate was safe places. Yes. So my family was starting a project, and even not your usual project. They were starting a mill. You know, milling?
Maize milling?
Flour milling. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So this was wheat millings.
That's huge.
Wheat milling. And from the inception to installing to actual implementation to operationalizing. So you see, when you said no human is limitless, and then we just come after 8th.
Yes.
After 8th, now this is a psychologist who is going to go in an industry, an industry where there is welding, you have to get TIG machine specifications, where you have to get, where you have to know the types of wheat that you're importing, you're bringing in the country. So basically, I'm going into another world altogether.
Right.
Okay. So that also goes to go to the girl child that having celebrated Women's Day yesterday. That all women, I mean, we can do anything. No field is off limit for us. So I wish I had my pictures. I could look at them when I was putting on my helmet and my side shoes, and were installing, and you can't believe that now this is Janet with a Master's of Science in Psychology, who is going up the stairs to the next floor, because these are on platforms. The mill is on a platform. This is a metallic platform that you go up on, and then you have to learn the ins and outs of milling. You have to learn the
essence. You had a totally different direction, and now you're literally pulled into the family business, and don't you lose focus?
So by the way that things are going, did I lose focus? No. The thing is, you can do more than one thing at any one time. You can do, if you have the ability, and if you actually have the self-belief, and you're willing to do a little bit of sacrifice, the things that we're going to talk about, then you can do. Why shouldn't I do milling when the opportunity is there? Why shouldn't I do farming even when I am a psychologist or when I'm a doctor? Yes. Because we're talking about boundless, no end to what you can do. So the opportunity is there, and just because, and I didn't have all the resources. Of course, there were resources, but I didn't have all the resources. But I knew I was going to do that, psychology. And then an opportunity comes up, and then I said, I have to, of course, took it up with 2 arms and 2 legs and did it, So when we started it started, and it wasn't, I used to run it with my sister, my young sister, and my brother. And so we were 3 people who were doing this. My contribution was noted and I could handle it. However, I had a project that had even started. The paperwork had started. The consultation had started. The meetings had started.
Wow. On the side?
Yes.
Okay.
I was meeting, the other partners. I was meeting doctors. I was, looking for places to do, safe places. I was looking at the paperwork. I was looking what is needed, because that is also taking time. So while I'm doing that, I'm also doing this, the family business.
Wow. You people, have you watched the movie called Being Limitless by Bradley Cooper? Those of you who don't know, you need to go and check it out. It will literally tell you what it means being limitless. But I want to hear from Janet.
Yes.
So far she keeps hinting on this and that. But what is actually being limitless? What does it mean for one being limitless?
So for one to be limitless is for you to have fluid boundaries. For you to have limitations that you can change, that you can, for you to be able to transcend barriers. The barriers that would otherwise have set you back. Okay? So for you to note the challenges and still go beyond the challenges. Okay? for you to exhaust or to maximize your abilities.
At some point you said that you knew within you
yes,
that this was not all.
Yes.
That you could do more.
Yes.
So at what point do I...
No. So then we go, how do you then become limitless?
Yeah.
You start with your self-awareness of yourself. Okay? I wouldn't have known that I could do much more if I didn't know my innate abilities or my learned abilities, you know. You have that, there's that voice inside of you, but you also have that belief. There's that belief that you can do this. There are things you can do. So I keep asking when I meet young girls and say, if you were to dream, how do you see yourself? If it was that there are no these things of school, how do you see?
Where do you see yourself?
Yes. How do you see yourself? With a where is yes, but how do you see yourself? Okay, so that it starts with that self-awareness of you knowing. You have to have that knowledge of that yes, there are things that I have to cross over. Okay. Then when you know yourself, when you know the person that you are. So for example, Lynn, if I told you that you have to go and dig, because we've spoken about digging. I say, digging is hard work. But the way I know myself, if it was the only thing that I had to do,
I would go and do it.
I would go and do it. Don't you know yourself?
Yes. You know you can. Actually, people keep saying that I think you know your limits. And I think I've used this with my friends before and told them, you know what, I think you can do this. How do you feel about going on to do this? And then I realized you know your limits. You also know that you can go beyond your limits. So you identify, first of all, you're aware of yourself.
Yes. And then you know the limiting factors. When you say that you see a friend and you see the potential in a friend, but if that person doesn't see the potential in them, they do not know themselves and they do not believe in themselves. And then when you see that there are limitations to that person, if that person doesn't see the limitations, or if they see the limitations and believe they can't go beyond the limitations, then they are aware. So you become aware of your limitations, the hurdles that you have to jump. Okay, you have to jump for you to go to that extra level, that extra layer that you have to go to. So you identify the barriers, okay? So for example, if it's a woman, it's a man like normally a job done for men. So you have the sex, they will look at you as a girl, a person who can do this. Those are barriers that you have to break, And then you have to find ways of going around those barriers, okay? So once you identify the barriers that you have to go over, then you set your goal. So regardless of these barriers, what is it that I am going to do?
But people on digital spaces, I don't know. I need to know. Do people know how to set goals for themselves? Is a question. Because if we are discussing being limitless, then you need to be self-aware. Who you are. Who are you? What is your brand? And so what do you want to be? Because here, Janet is telling us that at some point she knew there's something she wanted and she set forward for it.
Yes.
But question is, do you who is on our Twitter spaces, you watching us on Smart 24, I'm asking myself, do you know what you really want to do or who you want to be? And if so, what are the barriers? What is limiting you? According to Janet, you need to identify those. This is where we have reached on our journey to being limitless.
Yes.
Now, somebody was asking, how does one soar to the stars when we are all stuck on the ground?
You are all stuck on the ground with who?
Next one.
When you say we are all stuck on the ground, you might be stuck. I am not stuck.
Exactly.
So it also goes back to you as an individual. Okay. If we have very many people who will say, I am not stuck on the ground, you are not stuck on the ground, then who is stuck on the ground? Then who is not soaring further,
Yeah.
So because of that group think and the things that we pick up from society, the words that you have been told, I want to just put it out there, Lynn, that you have full control of your mindset.
That's, I think, a conversation for another day.
At least the things that are within your control, you only allow it to be infiltrated from external influences. But if you chose for you to take hold of your mind, you know, and at least mindset, and you know, determine where it goes, it will go.
But my mind is me.
Yes.
So how do I get a hold of me?
So how do you get a hold of you?
Yes.
Know you. Know where you're going. Clarity of purpose. Then go. You know, then go. Be relentless. Be resilient. Be disciplined. Be focused. So you're taking a hold of, you know, you're taking it as if you said, you take the cow by the horns.
Yes.
So you're taking your mind to where you want your mind to be. That's when I say you have control of your mind. You're taking it.
Discipline, resilience. What else?
Focus.
Focus.
What did he say? Discipline, yes. You have to be focused, you have to know the focus. You become relentless. The never giving up. Relentless. You know? Because you know, if the hurdles come and then you easily give in. So what we can't deal away with are the hurdles. The limitations are there.
Yes.
But we are not limited by the limitations. We have to transcend. Okay? So you also have to look at, you know, the barriers people have had. You know, just give an example. You yourself, even where you are, there are barriers that you have had to overcome. Okay? The hurdles you have passed through, but you have come all the way. So it's not that there are absence of hurdles. It is your ability to transit, to go over the hurdles and the ability.
This is where motivational speakers keep saying that fail today, fail tomorrow, fail the next day, but keep getting up, rising up. I don't want to become a motivational speaker at this point, but the more you fail, the more you keep pushing yourself to be even better.
Yes.
So if you failed A, tomorrow you cannot repeat it. You cannot fail again. You've got to succeed at A. If it is B, make sure you succeed. Or if you fail, don't fail it again. So you have to keep pushing yourself. You have to keep
evolving.
Yes.
You keep push yourself. For example, if just some example of if digging was the only option available,
absolutely,
you become a very good digger. Isn't it?
You hone your skills.
You fit yourself for purpose. You fit yourself to your goal. Okay?
You know, we are talking to some young, we have some young audience here. So when you say you fit your, how do you do that? How do I, does it go back to?
So for example, if the skill that you need to be on TV is for you to be bold, speak audibly and loudly, be able to have eye contact with the person.
Yes.
Then, if that is what you're going to do, then what do? You fit yourself, you change, you take care of those things that need to be taken care of for you to fit.
Yes.
Okay? You change or you adapt. Okay? Because we have that ability as human beings.
We do?
Yes, we do.
We have the ability.
We grow, yes.
We have the ability to evolve. We have are we related to chameleons?
Smart 24, driving business.
UDC came on board in December 2020. When they joined us at a time when basically we are non-operational. We have machinery, that is say the cotton gins, we have a cotton mill plant, we have oil mill. The time UDC came on board, we are a bit challenged with working capital. So we had a facility, but we are really not operational. They have so far invested in us about 2.8 billion, and majorly this has gone towards working capital to revamp the production capacity. We had suddenly do an overhaul since the machines had been not operational for about a year. We increased the capacity of the cotton plant from about 20,000 rolls of 500 grams a month to 80,000 at the moment, and we can even do more. Just that we are trying to usually increase the production and increase the market, since we now have 5 partners on board. Basically, we are now fully operational. The cotton season usually starts from around August and ends in March of the new year. But those are basically 2 seasons. Cotton season is 4 months, so it's possible to actually plant twice and harvest twice and supply. Since UDC came on board, we resumed production, and it has certainly affected us as a company positively. There are positive benefits for us as a business. There is also the community benefiting from the investment. In terms of the community, we have done lots of farmer trainings. We have organized farmers in 2 groups, so we have an extension staff that teaches the farmers on best farming practices. Once they do well, it implies that even they will be bigger and better.
With getting cotton seedlings, we got them from Mutuma and we started planting. After 4 months, it had already germinated and sold it to the factory. The money we get is used to educate our children and daily running of life. After harvesting, we are paid in cash and solve our problems instantly.
We work along with certainly the other bodies that we cooperate with, CDO, that's the Cotton Government Organization, the UGCA, Uganda Ginas Cotton and Association, was export and local. By the time UDC intervened in 2020, the production was down, partly because of basically cash flow challenges. What happens in the industry is that you buy cotton from the seeds as ginas. Then once you have separated the ginery and the seeds, you sell all the lint, you sell all the seeds, close the factory, and wait for the season. And what happened is that when we decided to add on the cotton plant, the opportunity was great, but it came with its challenges because it took time to develop the market and we consumed all the stock that we had. So that brought in cash flow challenges, because if you can't sell, then you can't be sustainable. We have about 231 staff during on-season, and during off-season we have about 78 staff, of which 3/4 are from Soga region, and there are locals within. And also organizing them into farmer groups has enabled them to access funding from other financial institutions. Ever since UDC came on board, we increased our production capacity, and I think right now we are in position to supply the whole requirement the government or the country needs, both private.
Smart 24, driving business.
Comfort zone. I don't want to call it a comfort zone. You're dreaming, honestly. That's not being comfortable. You're dreaming. But then how do I actualize my dream? And not just resources. I think it's more about the mindset.
Yes.
So how do I get there? You already told us that you have to get a hold of your mind. But I think there's so much more we've got to do.
So I think we can't do much more if your mindset is not in the right place. Okay? If your mindset is in the right place, then all the other things it starts with you. So if, for example, we say resources, but there are people you have seen who have done these things even without resources. Okay, someone say, you had a family business as a backup plan, but there are those who have not had that as a backup and they have done it. So once you come from that point of it has been done, or similarly things that are like the things you're dreaming have been done, then there is no way that you will not do it. So when you start from the point of you will, from that positive angle of the dream, this dream, but when you say I can't do it, one reason or another, I can't do it, you're already self-defeating. There won't be more push, but of course we can also nurture. We can nurture positive mindsets within people. With words of encouragement, with cognitive behavioral therapy, changing people's from negative thought patterns to positive thought patterns. You can go see, get that kind of support. You can look up to people, But then you as an individual, you start by positive self-talk. You start by looking up to the people that have done it before. You start by dreaming and not letting your dreams scare you. Or at least see other people's dreams and identify with them. That one, I saw a clip, it was going around of a lady who started her business. She was actually riding a boda boda. Those things inspire me, Lynn. She was riding a boda boda and she had pineapples she was selling. And she started with 20,000 shillings.
And the boda boda?
No, 20,000. She bought the boda boda.
Later,
along the way. She started with 20,000 shillings. She went to the village and bought pineapples wholesale. And she started vending the pineapples. And from vending, then she went on ahead. She bought a boda, which she rides herself. I want you to see the boundaries that she's breaking.
The barriers.
The barriers, yes. She's breaking. That it wasn't the cash. The cash was 20,000. Then after that, if it's not what is the easy way for me to deliver the pineapples, boda boda. Woman no ride boda bodas. I will ride boda boda. She didn't know how to ride. She learned how to ride the boda boda in a male-dominated field. Okay, and now she's sustaining her family, educating her children, continuing with her boda and multiplying. So tell me, if it wasn't the attitude, if it wasn't her mindset, how many have failed at those barriers?
Mindset, attitude, and being, but still it goes back to reminding yourself that I can do this.
Yes.
And if you've been following, we are looking at being limitless. You can do anything. You can do anything you set your mind to. And for the women particularly, because this is a women month, this is a women's week, a woman can do just about anything.
Yes.
And so this brings me to the issue of oftentimes why don't we do the things we want to do?
It's because we don't believe that we can do those things.
Belief.
Yes.
In oneself or in
oneself. Oneself goes hand in hand with capabilities, strengths, your existing opportunities, your weaknesses, or your ability to surpass weaknesses. So you don't do the things you want to do because you do not believe that you can do those things.
Maybe I need to first look for a Janet or a Teresa to tell me, you can do this.
So there are also people like that. So if there is no motivation, that intrinsic motivation, it can be learned. It can be nurtured. When I say nurtured, is taught or behavior that has been, you come by it. Okay? So it doesn't mean that everyone, we are all different personalities and different endowments. Okay? So if you're that person who does not have that drive, but you would want to, because we know that we can be the best of our abilities, we can be the best versions of ourselves, then you seek environments or you seek support for where you want to go. And that's why there are therapists. That's why in schools there should be guidance counselors.
Yes.
That's why there should be actual counselors in schools, you know. That is a formative stage. That's why it's okay for a parent to attach. Your parent should be able to, you're not saying, what are you going to talk about with a therapist? Feel free to get someone, as long as you know the person's abilities and professionalism. Get your child, get them people that will guide them, you know. Yes, parents also are nurturers.
Yes.
They should nurture their children into that. Start off young, tell them you can do anything. You can put them in positions to do that. I'll just maybe backwards, I'll tell you something. When we were growing up, I grew up in a very male-dominated world, very. And our work in the family business that was existing then was mostly hard work.
Yeah.
You stand from morning to like evening.
Wow.
You know, stand from morning like evening, count the things that you're loading. Basically, it was hard work. But then I saw that if my old parents would do that, they would do that. If there was any example of hard work. For them, if I would work 12 hours, they would work 24.
Wow.
As in literally 24. So that in itself, as a child, you're learning. So when I talk about a parent, if you're in that position to nurture, you should be in position to nurture hard work. You should be in position to nurture ability to do anything, you know, the limitlessness. You should be able to, in either word and action, you know, so that we can copy from there. If Lynn, you did know better that a girl can do anything, then probably you don't know better. You can either come by it later because of the environment that you're in, or you don't. Okay? So once, I also saw that, you know, when I saw my parents, the way they were working, I think I was in P7 back there. I one day went to office and found one of my fathers. He passed a few years ago. You know, I found him. He would work up to around midnight because he was waiting for people that would come back from work to, you know, balance books. So I told him, but I can help you. No, I can help you with this. He says, okay, come. Because exemplified, like life that was being lived in that way. You're getting it?
Yes.
So if it is not nurtured, yes, we have the innate abilities. Innate when I mean those inside ones, that voice that you're listening to. But if it's not nurtured, if environment doesn't nurture it, you know? When you ask me whether the smile is natural or not, human beings are nature and nurture. If, for example, you were taught that smiling is bad, even when your muscles they wouldn't smile because you knew smiling would be bad. Even if it's an impulse, it means it's a natural reaction. But if every other time you smiled, there was a negative reward for you, you would stop smiling. But if there was a positive reward for that behavior that you have adopted, or that attitude that you have taken on and, you know, nurtured and, you know, put into action, then you have more reason to do it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't want to bore you who are watching us on Smart 24 and those who are on our Twitter spaces. I'm telling you, it is a very intense conversation on being limitless. We're literally getting into your and trying to remind you, you know what, not all that you can do. There's so much. Listen to yourself. I'm sure there are lots of things that you listen to yourself and you're like, hey, but I can do that. And then you're like, I can't, you know? Now, you need to pick out that point where you say, I can, and focus on that point. We are glad you're joining us on Twitter Spaces, and if you have any question or comment, you can also really raise your hand. You can send us a message, and we shall get into those ones. I'm talking to Janet Kantarama. Now, Janet is a psychologist, and she's getting into our minds, like I told you at the start. She's getting into our minds and reminding us that we are limitless. We can do just about anything. Now, Janet, oftentimes there's this statement that is thrown around. The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. Does it have, what does it mean? I know it's obvious, you know. Somebody else is going to say it's obvious. The sky is the limit. I can do just about anything. But do we actually believe it?
So Lynn, I will just ask you: don't planes go beyond the sky? Which is sky? What's sky to you?
Wow.
If we are to go, sky is the limit. Do we have rockets? Do we have is man innovating to beyond the sky? Isn't it? Man is innovating behind the sky. So I think it's just is it called an idiom in English or something of the sort? It is those statements that are used to motivate, but literally we know that there is no limit.
Right.
Yes, there are no limits. And
sorry about, I think we lost our spaces for a minute, but what I was asking Janet here, that oftentimes we hear the statement of the sky is the limit, and most times, I mean, the sky is the limit.
So where is the sky?
Where is this? Which sky? Is it the normal sky?
It's just another way of saying, you're limitless.
Yes.
Because that is something that we believe is unreachable or unattainable, or it is so diverse and wide and, and unique in its, So it's another way of telling you that, come on. There are no limits. As high and as amorphous and as unique as whatever the sky is, that's where you are, and that's where your abilities can take you.
Wow, that's where your abilities can take you. So we shouldn't stop looking at this. The sky is very.
You don't look at the clouds.
You can't.
You can first see when the clouds are alone. You're like, that is the sky. Is that the sky?
Absolutely.
If we are to say what is sky, what is the sky? What is the sky?
Beautiful thing up there that we don't know. So Janet, I want for us to dive into. You've already told us how to be limitless, but how do I live a life that is limitless? You've already told us I can't be limitless, that's for sure, by being ABCD. But how do I continuously live a life that is limitless?
So, by continuously getting to know yourself, re-evaluating yourself at any one point.
Isn't that being selfish?
Re-evaluating yourself, being selfish.
And
then how best do you position yourself?
All the time.
How do you position yourself if you do not know yourself and choose yourself? How do you then position? Because for you to be limitless, there has to be that which you're going towards. And for you to know have that which you're going towards, then you have to know. It's like when you have a football team, you have to position your best striker, or the person who scores most, or the dribbler, I don't know, or the midfield. So you're putting your best foot, you're positioning that person for success. Your position for the win. So how do you then position that person when you do not know their abilities? And they keep changing, because I said we evolve.
Yes.
That today I might be something else, and tomorrow I'm something else. Then the other day I'm something else. Today I might be at this level, the next day I'm at another level. Or the level I am at the moment needs me to do something else. Then you do that. So I think it's every day. It's an everyday, a day at a time, and it's still choosing to have a positive mindset every day. That is the life you live of limitlessness. Choosing yourself to see limitations and know that they're limitations, but either way, work around getting them. Because I said limitations will be there, barriers will be there. You cannot have a barrier-less life. It's not, So choosing them, knowing them, identifying them, and then you as an individual use your abilities, which is use your mindset. Okay? You nurture that positivity in you, and then transit every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. So we asked Janet, there's a poll here. You can go to that poll and let us know what you think, because what things are true about Janet or are not. She says she's the firstborn, she's a Nalongo, she's a Muhima by tribe, and she can dig. So you let us know what you think of our speaker, and we shall be definitely looking at it later. So far we are looking at being limitless and how you can literally do just about anything. You do not have to limit yourself. And oftentimes, actually, people say that you're self-sabotaging. You're sabotaging yourself. It's a statement thrown around a lot.
Yes.
What do you make of it?
So self-sabotage is, we'll go back to the mindset. Okay? And so if you say you want to become a leader, and then you tell yourself that, will I be able to be a leader? You do things that will not make you a leader. Okay? You intentionally do not work towards being a leader. You do not maintain the discipline of you being a leader. You doubt yourself. You're not persistent. You're not resilient. So basically, even before that dream is born, you curtail it from you. Okay? There are those which you do intentionally, and then there are those you do unintentionally as a result of experiences that you have lived through as a person.
Yes.
That's when you say, when you go to see a therapist, then you can say to unlearn or to heal some traumas, or to grow, to start on a journey of growth. Okay? So then you wonder, why don't I succeed? Okay, why don't I succeed? Everything that I start, some way, somehow I fall. Check. Check yourself. If you then don't, when you check you don't have that ability, then seek a mentor. Seek a mentor. Seek a therapist. So get to know why. But if you do not actually get to know why, if you're not check, that is self-awareness, then you won't know. That is the starting point. Then you won't know. Even that realization that you're actually not succeeding will not come to you if you're not looking. If you're not asking questions to yourself, if you're not asking why. Why am I like this, Lynn? Why do I attract the people that I attract?
And those are some of the questions we should be asking ourselves all the time.
Yes.
Who am I? Why am I like this?
Yes.
Why do I attract a certain type of people?
Yes. Why do I do things the way I do them?
Yes. What answers will that?
Personal.
They are personal.
There should be. You should know why. Whatever. If it makes sense to you, or if it doesn't, then you seek help. For example, if you say, why am I attracting the people that I attract? I'll take that as an example. Then you have to know, what are the people that I'm attracting? How have you come by that knowledge? So the why will give you insight, and you would go dig deep. You dig deeper into the why. You get more questions. Some will be answered, some won't be answered. Okay? You do some reading, do some investigation on your own. Then if all the answers don't come by you, then seek support. People know that you only seek support when you seek. We don't have that help-seeking culture.
Yes.
Huh? You don't have that help-seeking culture.
It's an African.
Because we've been nurtured into it.
Yes.
So do you think an African who is born and bred elsewhere will not seek?
They will.
So it's because of that social culture
setting. I want to think so.
Of course, because they all affect the way we turn out, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think we are beginning to come to a conclusion as we speak. And Janet, I want us to get into a point where we remind ourselves that we are limitless.
Yes.
But what direction do I take? I am limitless. I don't want to be like Elliot.
Yes.
And just because for him, he's saying no human being is limitless, and he's running.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he won't be constrained in his pursuit of that marathon.
Yes.
For him, he believes you're not limited. no human is limited, and for he will exemplify it and live it. And he has a focus. You see, there is a focus.
Yes.
For him, it is, I have to beat this marathon. Okay. So when you say that, then we know we are limitless. Then how then do we go about? Where is your focus?
Yeah.
What is that goal that you want to? Isn't it? So that is the thing. You can be limitless, but you can be limitless with things that are not moving you. Okay? Then that goes to goal setting.
Yes.
Then you have to know what is that you want to be limitless in. Is it in pursuit of happiness? I'm limitless. Your goal, personal goal. When you say is it survival, if it's survival that you want to, that is your goal, then be limitless in attaining survival. Simple.
Very simple. It sounds simple, but it's not simple. So now is a point where, do we have any questions online or any messages coming in? Anyone that would want to speak to us? If you want to ask Janet anything, you can unmute or you can request, and we will give you permission to, speak to us and ask a question. But if not, I can see there's a lot. So we're asking Janet if she is the firstborn, she's a Nalongo, she's a Muhima by tribe, she can dig. I think this is time for the big reveal. Now you are going to tell us, Janet, of the 4, are they 4 or 5? The 4. Which one is true and which one is false?
Can I first know what is winning so that I can tell them it's false?
Who is winning? Let us know.
So that I can know who is...
so the winner is you are Muhima by tribe.
Imagine, that is so false.
You don't say.
I'm telling you.
Wow. So she's not a Muhima. Okay.
That is so not true. So the only false thing in there is I'm not a Muhima by tribe, but I can dig. And then the other false thing is I'm not a firstborn.
Wow. Wait, she's a Nalongo.
I'm a Nalongo and I can dig.
And she's a Nalongo who can dig.
Yes.
Wow, this is so great. This is so beautiful. So those of you who've been listening to us, those of you who've been watching on Smart 24, I thank you so much, and I hope that you have learned a thing or two about being limitless, because you can do just about anything if you put your mind to it, if you focus on it. And if she says how to be limitless, this is how to be limitless: build winning habits, pick up new skills effectively, set goals, be self-aware, be focused, be disciplined, be resilient. Have I left anything out?
I think that sums it up.
That sums it up.
Yes.
It's that simple. Wow. Have a mindset of a winner, take action, and are you confident about what you want to do?
Yes.
Go forth and do just that.
Thank you.
It has been a lovely conversation, Janet. Unfortunately, we have to come to an end. But whenever I sit with her, there's so much that we can, delve into. We have lots of conversations. So thank you so much, Janet, for making time. I see our ardent listener, Phil Munavi, has just joined. Phil, we have missed you. You have missed us also, because we are coming to the end of this conversation and we are looking at being limitless. You can do anything. We will have this recording up after we'll have this recording up for those of you who might want to access it. Otherwise, those of you who've been watching on Smart 24, I thank you so very much. We'll catch you again next Thursday. Janet, do you have any parting shots before I can say bye-bye to our people?
It's always a pleasure, having these conversations.
Yeah.
And I love conversations, because conversations then move people. Okay, it's move people. So for me, for this topic, I am quite passionate, because I believe that if we all tried to reach that, our elasticity, we know ourselves.
Yes.
If we stretched ourselves a little more, there could be so much more.
We would be amazed at how far we can go.
How far we can go and what we can do.
Absolutely.
As individuals and as groups.
Wow.
So thank you so much for hosting me. Until next time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much from Fidelis Leadership Institute here on Fat Talks. We hold Fat Talks every Thursday, and it is a very exciting conversation. We are faithful, available, and teachable. This is why we have these conversations every other week, to make sure that we remind ourselves, we teach ourselves that we can do a lot of things, but we also need to learn more about us. So we'll catch you again next Thursday. I wish you all a lovely weekend, and God bless you.
Smart 24